to Beyond the Whistle. I'm your host, Xavier, with my co host, Timon. Got anything you want to say, bro?
You can follow me at that ain't Tamp on Instagram. That's how you find me. But we can get this show on the road, man.
Righty, alrighty. Man, so we had a very eventful week one in college football for sure. Um, NFL as well too. Now that it's kicking off, I would really say week one college football was real good. I was definitely impressed by some of the teams that really don't get too much show, like Tulum, Bowling Green. They played Bowling Green. They played Penn State today. No, yeah, they played Penn State
I
today, and they
believe
gave them a
so.
good run for their money. Yeah, they did. So
Week
I was
one, I wasn't
definitely impressed.
I wasn't too impressed with a lot of stuff I seen. I mean, college football is college football. It's always fun to watch. But as far as the teams that I was watching, it just seems like the same thing as last year. But that Nebraska team has like really beefed up their line. Nebraska's looking good this year. As far as the teams you watch, what did you see from last week?
So Ohio State, that is, those my guys. Colorado, I'm watching them pretty closely, man. I watched them tonight. They lost against Nebraska.
It looked wild tonight, man.
What I'm
Tonight was
really
not
starting
their
to
night.
see, what I'm really starting to see with them guys, they don't really got too much discipline, man. Like
And
some of those penalties that they was getting, the targeting with the crown,
yep,
that was uncalled for. They had to sit one of their best linebackers out.
for me, it all falls down to the front line, the
Right.
O line, and they don't have any they don't have any talent in the O line. They brought in 46, I believe 46 people in the transfer portal, and 46 people, and you have nothing to show for it. That's kind of crazy to me. I was really looking forward to them this year, but tonight was not their night. Yeah,
Did the Chiefs win the game, or did you think the Ravens lost the game? What's your take on that?
I got to give it to the second choice. The Ravens lost that game, man. I believe the Ravens lost that game. The Chiefs did their thing. They're always going to do their thing. But honestly, if it wasn't for just the QB throwing down the field too far, if he wasn't overlooking his passes, it was just like a bad night for him as far as throwing the ball. He couldn't get it to his receivers.
Kind of feel the same way, basically. Excuse me. I definitely think that the Ravens lost that game. It was a very close game. That was really kind of ended the whole game. Um, like you said, at the end of the game, he really couldn't connect with either Zay Flowers or Lively. Likely, and shoot, Likely was playing his tail off.
Yeah, that is true.
He overthrew Likely in the left end zone
He
for
didn't see
five
Zay
points
Flowers
to win.
on that last throw. He didn't see Zay
Man,
Flowers.
he was more open than doggone Jack in the Box, man. Like I was like, come on, Lamar. And everybody kept talking about last year. They were saying that last year's AFC game wasn't really too much on him. Well, shoot. that game versus the Chiefs this year for the opener, that was on
It
him.
was
I
on
got to
him.
give it to him. He has to bear most of that because
You got to do more than just
you
run the
you got
ball
to
as a
hit him.
quarterback. You got to do
Yeah,
more than just run.
you got to hit him. Like man, you really had that man in the left end zone, and you overthrew it over his head by about 2 feet, about
Yep.
5 feet over his, and then when he was cutting in, you threw it about 5 yards behind him. So I'm like, yeah, he definitely has to do better with that one. I really I understand that they have a brand new offensive line that they're working with, but
Which
also
doesn't look
somebody got to
bad.
be
That
throwing the
offensive line
ball.
don't look too bad.
They don't, because if you look back at how much time he had in the pocket, I mean, I could have made an omelet. Like, man,
Yes, sir.
he was standing back there for days. I'm like, bro, they done ran the play and now they gotta stall out. Now they gotta do something different. Like, man, the doggone play that the coach called is over. Now I'm
Yep.
like, oh, he's still holding the ball. Let me
Yep.
cut back this way. Yeah, he was holding the ball a little bit too long for me. A little
I
bit too
used to
long.
I used to want to I used to want Baltimore to win. I used to like really watch them closely, but it's like the same thing every year for me.
Mm-hmm.
You're not hitting your passes and you're running with the ball, but you're not winning games. You have to win games.
Right,
If you're going to play like that, you have to win games.
right. I definitely feel you on that. Definitely feel you on that. Moving along. Which team from the AFC and the NFC do you have as sleepers right now?
A sleeper team. Let me get your team from the AFC that you think is a sleeper.
I had to go with the Texans. Had to go
That,
with the Texans.
okay, I can see why you said that. I can see why you went there.
Yeah, for the AFC, I definitely have to go with the Texans because of last year of how CJ Stroud played and the basically the tools and the players that he had with him. And now he also has Stephon Diggs. So
Yep.
this year, man, I got him having a field day out there. I got him. He gonna need arm rest as much as
I
he
want
gonna
to
be slinging the gun.
I want to see I want to see the Steelers do something this year. I don't really have too much faith in Russell Wilson,
Mm-hmm.
but I believe they will be a sleeper. They have good defense. And if that offense can come together, defense wins games, but offense, you got to put points up. You got to put points up.
What about for the NFC? For the
And
NFC, I have the Lions. Also going back from last year, how they played. I have the Lions being the sleeper in the NFC.
I think Green Bay is a team to be looking out for.
Those are
I
my
watched
boys.
that game
I was
with
gonna say them.
I watched that game with them and the Eagles, and
Mm-hmm.
man, they impressed me. They showed me some things I haven't seen from them in years.
I
Just
was gonna say, oh yeah, go ahead.
no, you good, you good.
I was gonna say Green Bay, but Jordan Love got a look. He got injured at I think probably the second to last play of that game. So I don't know what it's looking like for him coming back, or I don't
Yeah,
know
for the future.
what the injury is looking like. So that's why I didn't put them in there. But if he wouldn't have got hurt, even if they would have lost, I would have put Green Bay in there from how he played in the last 8 games last year. But out of just totality, I have to go with the Lions.
I believe
Because
they are a
their
sleeper.
running game is really threat.
They got a good QB. The Lions have a great QB. He knows what he's doing with the football. He knows where he want to go. And he's comfortable. He's relaxed back there in the pocket. I think they
Right,
can do
right.
good things this year.
Got you.
How do you feel?
Also,
How do you
go
feel
ahead
about
again.
Bryce Young?
Bryce Young, heck of talent. Heck of talent.
I think the
Just
team around him just needs to be a
the
little bit
team.
better.
I think he's gonna have to. I want him to stay with them. I see. I think he's gonna have to grow. I think they're gonna have to grow with him. I
Yeah,
see
they're in the
that
building
being.
process.
I see that being. Switching it to the NBA terms. I see them being like a OKC. You know how OKC was. They was
Yep.
very garbage when they started rebuilding, but the pieces that they kept. all of the young core, they kept building with them and building around them.
And they're
And
phenomenal now.
I think that's how Carolina's gonna be. I think give them 2 to 3 more years, keep coming through the draft. I think Carolina's gonna definitely start up.
Their
And
name
Bryce
gonna
Young,
ring
I
some
really see him
bells.
doing something. Yeah, yeah. Bryce Young, he has just as much talent as C.J. Stroud. He just doesn't have all of the weapons that C.J. Stroud.
Exactly.
I think if you give Bryce Young the same weapon C.J. Stroud, he's going to gunsling as well. Like he already showed
Everybody
that
want to talk
in
about how
college.
small he is, but
Yeah,
honestly, that doesn't matter if you're protected.
yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. Stand on that side, man. With your Steelers, you think they're gonna win over 10 games this year?
Over 10, I'm not gonna give them over 10. Um,
What you got them doing?
I'll say they'll win at least 7 games. I'm not gonna say over 10 though. How do you feel about their season?
I have them going 7-10 as well. 7-10. I
Yeah,
have
it's
them
my
going
favorite
seven and
team, but
ten.
I'm not gonna give them too much credit. I got to see how that quarterback is, man. I got to see how Russell Wilson is
Yeah,
gonna handle this season.
and that's mainly why I feel that way about them because of how they're handling their quarterback situation with Russell and
I know who you talking
Justin
about. You talking about
Fields.
the backup?
Justin Fields. Justin Fields. Yeah. I definitely think that Justin Fields is going to end the season as your starting quarterback.
You were
But
telling me that.
yeah, but the reason why I also had them losing 10 games is because the end of you guys' schedule, man. Like, man, after week 9, man,
It's
you
looking
have the
bad.
Ravens twice.
Looking
And I got
bad.
that down as 2 L's. You got the Ravens twice. I got that as 2 L's, man. Can't lie. You got the Browns twice. I was gonna say 2 L's with them, but I'm gonna split it. I'm gonna split the Browns 1-1.
I think you give the
Then you
Browns a
have
little bit more credit than they do.
I'm giving them a little bit credit because their quarterback is questionable, Watson. I think this year he's gonna have to show that he still has what he had in 2020.
Right.
2020. Yeah, but their defense and everything else is playoff ready. So
Okay, I give you
I'm
that.
giving them that because of what they have around. I mean, Joe Flacco came in there off. Joe Flacco woke up one day and became the starting quarterback and took him to the playoffs. So if
That is true.
Watson is at least 70% of what he was in 2020, and I think a lot of people really do forget we was how people praise Patrick Mahomes right now. We were saying that Deshaun Watson was probably right there with him. They was
Yeah,
toe to toe. Like you couldn't say one without the other. So I think if he comes in at least 70% of what he was in 2020, they're playoff bound again. If Joe Flacco can take him there, Watson
you're
can
right.
come in and take him. So I got them. I got you guys splitting that 1-1, and then also you got to play the Eagles. No, the Ravens and the Chiefs.
It's gonna get ugly towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I really have you going at least 0-5 for the last four, maybe even. I mean, for the last five, but that's a possible. It either, but you're definitely going 0-4 because your last four is the Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, and Bengals in that order.
Okay, and Bengals is a rivalry game, I believe.
Yeah, and
I think they're gonna play
they're coming
that
back to make
game
a statement.
with everything in them. They're gonna
Yeah,
have to make a
they said
statement.
that. Yeah, and the Bengals are definitely coming in to make a statement because Joe Burrow, he wants to show that he's back, and Jamar Chase right now is going through, getting his money. So we're going to see how that holds up. But
Okay, so
he's definitely coming in to do his thing.
with the Bears losing Justin Fields and getting Caleb Williams, how do you feel about that? What do you think he's going to be for this year?
I didn't watch him too much in college.
He
Really
was
didn't hype too much about him.
he was okay in college. He was good in college. I'm not gonna lie. He was good in college. But he had good players around him.
Yeah, I think he's a guy that stayed pretty long, so he So he looked nice. I mean, if I can say, I feel like he was just like an overstayed senior. You know, against his class that he came in with, he probably wasn't like that. But after
I
you
just
stay
think
for a while and your class leaves, and then younger dudes come up, and now you're the older guy, I think then you start looking like, oh man, that dude is nice. Nah, he's not nice. He's just a senior playing against freshmen. That's how I kind of see. That's kind of how I saw him in college. So
he was
I
running
hate to
for his
see.
life in college too. A lot of those games, he was running for his life. They almost
Yeah,
lost to Colorado, which was rebuilding their team last year. So,
right.
but
And then also plus the Bears organization right now is not looking good.
I mean,
So
honestly, that's how they got the first round pick because they were
right.
trash last year. Trash. So,
Yep.
I mean, you go to a team that isn't good and the players around you aren't good. You're going to have to trade or just be in a better position, bring new guys in, just bring that talent in you need. But I don't see him going very far with the Bears.
I don't need to. I'm kind of glad that Justin Fields got out of that situation
I'm glad he's
because
at the
you know
Steelers.
he came from Ohio State. You know he came from Ohio State. My boy liked that. He liked that. I feel like they stunted his growth a little bit, and now he kind of has to. I feel like he has to redo his whole rookie season. I feel like he has to restart as a rookie all over again. But I have faith with Mike Tomlin being his coach and the Steelers organization being his team.
Yeah,
I definitely have faith in that situation. But the Bears right now, I don't really see Caleb Williams coming in, and I feel like they think that he's about to come in and show. See, it was really Justin Fields. It wasn't the Bears. That's not going to happen. He's going to come in and he gonna be running for his life again.
exactly. Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. But I do want to see him play. I'm excited for this season to see what he brings to the table for that team.
Same here. Oh, so moving on, who do you have winning between the Cowboys and the Browns this Sunday?
Cowboys. I got the Cowboys. They do good all throughout the season. I believe it's the playoff runs that they start to mess up in. I think they're gonna beat the Browns.
Got you. Yeah, same here. I had the Cowboys winning that. I have CD coming out, showing doing his thing. Dak's gonna come out guns blazing, but I would say I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns upset them. I would. If the
True.
Browns pull if Watson comes in there and just goes out of his mind, because nobody knows what to expect from him. So how can you really game plan against him? Your game
Right.
plan has to come
Right.
from 2020,
Right.
and so I feel like you really got to come in there and gauge him in the first quarter, maybe first half, and really the second half is going to be the ball game. So
You
I
can look at
I
old
wouldn't be
plays
surprised.
from like the scheme of things. You can look at what they're running or what they're trying to do, but you can't
Mm-hmm.
look at what the quarterback has been doing.
Yeah,
And
like
like
you
you
can look
said,
back
I
at
agree
last
with you.
year. Think, yeah, like you can look back at last year and see how they kind of did things with Flacco, but you can't. But when he steps in there, he's going to improvise if he wants. So
Exactly.
I feel that the Cowboys is for them to win, but I would not be surprised if the Browns took that one from them. I would not be surprised one bit. I would actually be a little bit happy. I want to
Okay, and
see
I want to take
the
a step back to
Cowboys.
college for a second. I got a question for
Yeah,
you.
go ahead.
How do you feel about Riley Leonard leaving Duke and going to the team he's on?
Who do you go to?
I believe he plays for the Fighting Irish. Notre
Oh,
Dame.
Notre Dame leaving Duke, and if I'm correct, Notre Dame. Actually, I wouldn't be correct. I don't know what conference they are in, but I know Duke is in the ACC. Um,
I just want to know what sparked his choices into leaving Duke.
I would probably say conference. I
He
would
was a
say
franchise
conference.
player there. I mean, he had everything around him that he needed, but
Right.
they weren't handling business the way they could have been last year.
Yeah,
So I
I
could
think that's what it was too.
it just surprised me that he picked the team he did. But like you said, probably the conference he's in.
Yeah, I think conference would have to. I think that played a large part in it, and he probably wants to get drafted, so they might play a little bit more. I think, yeah, Fighting Irish, Notre Dame. I'm pretty sure they play some teams in the Big Ten, some in the Big 12. So when you're on those stages and you show out, it's going to look better, obviously, because you're being shown. Then you playing for Duke, playing against a Charlotte, playing against a UNC. That's not a huge rivalry like it is in basketball, you know. So I definitely probably see the conference being his main reason.
I believe they lost to NIU tonight. If I'm not
Mm.
if I'm not wrong.
Yes, they did. Yep, Notre Dame did lose to Northern Illinois University. Yes, they did.
Um,
If
I
I'm
tuned
correct,
into that game for a little
Illinois.
bit, but you're not gonna win the ball game by just throwing the throwing the ball one way. You're not gonna win the ball game by just doing that. I didn't see one
Right.
play action pass from them tonight. I didn't see Riley Leonard doing his thing with his feet. He's usually doing his thing with his feet. He can escape the pocket well and get yards ahead. I didn't see any of that. But I did want to ask you that one question, but we can continue on.
Actually, since we're over here in college right now, what was the main college game that you want to watch in week 2? Either already been shown or hasn't been shown yet. What's the game that you mainly really wanted to watch? What's the game to
I
watch in week
wanted to
2?
watch
I would say
Nebraska and Colorado, but Nebraska dog walked them.
dog walk.
Dog walked
Man.
them. So I'm not even gonna bring up Colorado again. A game to watch. A game
Oh
to
man.
watch is probably. Let me see. Let me see. You might as well say week 3 because now all the games are pretty much over with for week 2.
For me, it was the Texas and Michigan game. I wanted to see that. I felt like that game was gonna show if Michigan is really what people think they are,
Uh huh.
and if Texas is really who they are. Like if Texas is still what they were last year, because Texas was definitely on the rise last year,
I wanted to see
and
what
Michigan
Oregon was
showed
gonna
that they
do.
really wasn't like that. Say that
I
again.
wanted to see what Oregon was gonna do, but they
Oregon,
just lost to Boise State.
they lost to Boise
Oh
State.
no, no, no! Halftime they're down
Ooh, what's the score? What's the score?
20-14.
Mm-mm-mm.
I thought the game was over. I'm sorry about that.
I was about to say, man, Oregon down to Boise State right now. You heard it live, folks.
At the half, down 14-20.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
that's a shocker. Just like that Notre Dame game.
other than the teams we have named so far, I don't really look at a lot of college football outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I am excited for this NFL season, and I'm excited for your next question.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. For sure, for sure. So, who do you have winning the Super Bowl this year?
I'm gonna give it to San Francisco, man. They've been right there for
San Francisco.
years. They've been right there for years. I believe it's time to give them their flowers. I believe they have everything they need to make it to the Super Bowl. They just this is like they're this close every year. So that's who I think is
I
gonna
feel
win it.
you. I'm shooting more to. Think you know what I'm about to say. I'm shooting more toward the Chiefs.
I knew you were
I'm
gonna say that.
shooting. I'm shooting toward the Chiefs because you just can't count Patrick Mahomes out.
Yeah, I believe they might play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but
But as far as
also
winning, they haven't won by a lot. They haven't
they
won by a
have,
lot.
but I mean, all you gotta do is win by a point.
That is true.
But my second runner up is definitely the 49ers. I actually want them to get one. I want Brock Purdy to get his respect that is due.
Yeah,
Feel
he
me?
deserves it.
They down that man too much. It's Kyle Shanahan's. He's just a organization guy. He's just fitting into the system. He's a system guy. I'm like, if that was the case, then Garoppolo would have been doing what he's doing.
Right.
Just sit back, pay attention, and throw.
Speaking of
I don't
systems,
get it.
how you feel about that? The way they're kicking the ball off now.
I would say I don't really have too much of a problem with it. I like it because I'm ready to see me some kickoff return touchdowns, and I really feel like that's why they implicated it too from the XFL.
But give
They
credit when
had too
credit's
much fun
due.
with it.
Give credit when credit's due. I believe the XFL should be able to. I don't know. I don't think that they should have been able to take that kickoff from them and not give them their credit. Give them some type of, um, let's see, some type of payment or anything, because
You never know.
honestly, the NFL and the XFL wouldn't be anything without the NFL. But the way they play their game is different, and they wouldn't have been anything if they played the game the same as the NFL. You know what I mean? They wouldn't have been anything. Like nobody would have watched them. But because of the way they play the game, that's why everybody's watching. And I believe they deserve some credit because the way they're kicking that ball off is different. The way they're doing everything is different. And I don't think the NFL gave them that credit. I think they just took something from them just because people are watching it. You know what I mean? But that's just how I feel about it.
So MVP this year.
MVP. Um, that's a good question. I think it's a couple people that I have that I'm thinking could win. I don't just have like one person on my mind. When it comes to MVP, I believe that your boy from Baltimore, can win it. Didn't he win it last year?
Jackson.
Didn't he win MVP last year? Okay, I'm thinking he has a good shot at it. I'm thinking of course you can't forget Patrick Mahomes. Um I want to see one of these rookies do something big, man, but I don't want to put them in that conversation with the MVP until I see what they're capable of.
I have CJ Stroud winning it. I feel like he's going to come up and get it. He was already in the talk last year. I think CJ Stroud is going to get it this year.
Okay, that's a good choice to pick. CJ Stroud has been doing his thing, especially with the
Um,
team he's on.
yeah,
With the amount of help he has, I mean, he does have some good players on that team. But as far as who the Texans were before him, they
right.
they weren't that good of a team. So,
Exactly.
like I said, give credit when credit is due. I believe that that is a good choice to pick too. But I can't just think
Everybody's
of
going
one
to,
person.
I think everybody's going to put CJ Stroud in the Texans and Bryce Young and the Panthers in the same boat and have them as probably going to be a 5-win team, like a rebuilding team. And he said, no, we about to touch the playoffs. So
Right.
he did that all in his rookie year, his rookie season. I think this year he's going to come out and exceed that. And if he exceeds his rookie season, I don't see how he can't win it. I feel like it's going to be for the taking from him. I feel like he's definitely going to come in and take that. I definitely do.
CJ Stroud is a good answer. I think that's who is who has a likely chance of winning the MVP. Yeah.
Yeah. Switching over to the college real quick, getting back to Colorado one more time. Um, do you have Colorado going over or under 500?
I don't know after the night, man. But honestly, I can say as far as what they did in the second half, the defense held them in the second half. They won the second half to me from this game with Nebraska. But as far as when Dion went and talked to that O-line, I started seeing the boys actually putting some effort in, putting some like they supposed to be there. So I believe that they could go. I don't believe they'll go over 500, but you never know. It's college football. They surprised a lot of people last year.
I have them going 4-8. 4-8. I was gonna say 5-7, but since they just lost tonight, now I gotta say 4-8.
Right. Because
Cause I
they're
had them
playing some
winning.
good teams. They're not playing no just hand me down teams.
Oh no, they're in the Big 12 this year. You know, you right under the big boys. You know, Big 12 right there under the Big 10 and the SEC.
Yeah.
You know, so you getting up there now. And tonight was gonna be, I was saying previous to tonight's game, tonight is gonna tell us if Colorado is actually gonna be a legit team this year. If they can beat a Nebraska, I feel like they would have the chance to beat anybody on their schedule. But
I'm
since
not-
they lost to them tonight, they're probably going to lose to everybody else they should lose as well.
You know what's crazy is they scraped Nebraska last year, and they weren't expected to do anything good last year.
Man, they scraped TCU, and TCU was the finalists
Yeah,
in the
they had the
national championship.
championship game last year. CC or the year
Yeah,
before last.
yeah, and they came in and beat TCU, and I kind of already felt that they was going to lose tonight because of how tough they had to fight in the North Dakota game. I
Yeah,
was like, you shouldn't be having to fight that hard with them guys. And you think you about to come into Nebraska with
yeah.
that running back they got?
I mean, it's not even just a running back, man. That O
Nah,
line
they
was
was
aggressive. That O line was aggressive, but that D line they stayed on them all night too.
yeah.
As far as Shador being in the pocket, it was over for that. For the first half, they had 4 sacks, man. I was so disappointed because like we talked about this already. They brought in so much talent from the transfer portal, but it's nothing to show for it. It is nothing to show for it. They have good receivers, they have good offensive players, but as far as the line and keeping Shador protected, they cannot do it. And without that, they're going to lose all year long.
Georgia really number one ranked team this year.
Georgia should be a number one ranked team every year. That's how I
I
feel about it. Georgia is a cheat code.
think Georgia, I'd take two teams over Georgia. I could see them being a ranked three.
What are you
I'd
talking
take
about?
number
Alabama?
one. Nah, I'd take Ohio State over Georgia. I'd take Texas over Georgia. Actually, I see them being really a true 4-5. I would take Ohio State, Texas, possibly a Tennessee,
Why
and
do
I
you
think
feel that way?
Alabama.
Why do you feel that way? Georgia hasn't showed us anything that's
Week one, how they played in week one, and who they played against. They should have whooped them in week one. I
I feel
gotta say
like
week
Georgia
one.
hasn't showed us anything that I mean, besides week one.
Hmm.
I believe they deserve to be in the position they're in.
I definitely want. I definitely see them. I'm not. I'm definitely not saying that Georgia isn't like that. Georgia's like that, but I don't see them being a true one. They could be a three, maybe a four. But I was like a one at the how they played in week one. I was like, man, you should have came in there, kind of how Ohio State just beat who they was playing tonight, 56-0. They just beat
Right.
their opponent 56-0. Like that's what you're supposed to do to a team that has no no reason being in the same state as you, and they coming to play you. Like so
Right.
that's why I felt that way. But I definitely I definitely understand where you come from. Definitely not calling them trash. Not one bit. I don't want no problems. I don't see them. I don't see them as them being trash. No sir.
Alabama
And
beat South Florida today. Of course, they're number 4 ranked
right,
this year, or for right now, at least. But
right.
they scraped South Florida today. I don't even know why South Florida is in the conference with them, to be honest. I don't think the USF should be in the conference with Alabama. I think Alabama, I mean, over the past years, they are a good team. Over the past years, they've gotten a little bit, worse than what they were. But I still don't believe that they should be in the same conference with South Florida.
So one of the final questions, and then we're just gonna freestyle it for a little bit, and then we're gonna end it. Um, what should Florida State do with their quarterback problems? Have you been watching Florida State?
Florida State, I've been paying attention to
What do you
them.
think they should do with their quarterback problem?
I don't know about what they should do with the quarterback problems. I just think they need to find somebody that knows what they're doing with the football, that's not scared to play that position as well as the quarterback they used to have. Didn't he get injured?
I think he did.
So they have a good receiver class, a great receiver class, to be honest. They're stacked, like their depth chart is stacked when it comes to receivers. Their defense has always been good as far as, I mean, if they get the right guy back there, I don't know what they're going to do or how they're going to do it, but if they get the right guy back there, they have a good chance at making a title run. I do believe that. They aren't just no pushovers.
Honestly, you gotta have them hop in the car with you, take them for a ride, find your nearest McDonald's, take them inside, leave them in the drive-through, and put a headset on them, man. Tell that man to get ready to bag some fries and hand out some sweet teas, cause
Oh man.
this ain't for you, man. I
Oh
mean,
man.
that game was just terrible.
I don't think that they lost one game last year though. If they did, it
Florida
was
State, nah, they
yeah.
didn't. They didn't.
But
They
they tried
didn't.
to
But
come. I think they tried to
he
play
wasn't their
Georgia.
quarterback last year.
I think they tried to play Georgia and got mollywopped.
They played Georgia and they got whooped because they felt like they was cheated out of
Right, and they showed them
bracket.
why they're in the league that they're in.
Yeah, and then they try to downplay the ACC, try to talk down on them. Then you come in and you lose to Georgia Tech. Like, man, oh man, yeah, they got to take him to your nearest McDonald's. Put him in the drive-through. Put a headset on him. 4 for 4. All right, that's
You
all
are
you need to do, man.
hilarious.
All you need to get ready to do. You just need to read this dollar menu and get ready for it.
How do you feel about old dude leaving Colorado and going to Kansas State? They won today. They beat Tulane today, or Tulane, um, 34-27. I don't know what he did in that game today, but how do you feel about him leaving Colorado? Dylan
Yeah,
Edwards is who I'm talking about.
he went to Kansas State.
Yep,
Yeah, they played against Tulane today, right?
yep.
Yeah, Kansas State won that game, but it was a close one at the halftime. I don't blame him for leaving Colorado. Like I said, I feel like they're really undisciplined right now, and if that's not you as a person or as a player, you're not going to want to be around it. You're not going to want to be associated with it. You know, when
Right,
somebody talks about Colorado, they don't say with just A, B, or C, or D. They say Colorado players. So if that's not you, you don't want to be associated with it. I
right.
can't blame them. And Kansas State, if I'm correct, they are 2-0 now.
Yep, they're 2-0. Um, but
And Texas is
he
about
wasn't
to
used as a big pawn in either games, I don't believe. He scored a touchdown last game, but it was just one touchdown. I think he touched the ball maybe 3 times. So he said he went to Kansas State to play a bigger role, to be in the scheme more. But honestly, Colorado had a full package for him. He was used more at Colorado than he is at Kansas State. So for him to come out doing a whole interview and say that he was leaving Colorado to go there to get more play time, it's not adding up. He's not that guy for them. They have 2 other guys ahead of him that are way better, way more talent. I think that it was a mistake for him to leave. I think you gotta build around what you got when you talk about Colorado. They know they're not a good team as far as all the people they brought in. They know they're gonna have to do some work. You know what I mean? So the people who stay get it, and the people who leave don't. They just want to be a part of a franchise that's gonna already be winning. I feel like. I think he just wanted to go home. He's from there. I think he is missing home. His daddy has a lot to do with the decision too, I believe. Like his dad plays a big role in his career. So I think he just wanted to be home.
Good episode one, man. You know,
Yeah, well, it
definitely,
was
definitely,
nice,
definitely
man.
went
Thank you
well.
for having me. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this with you.
Man, ain't no guest here. Shoot, man, co-hosting together. It's me and it's you.
You
Thank you
right,
for
man?
being my partner in this, man. Definitely here to stay. If you guys have any, if you think that we miss anything, or maybe whatever your takes are on what we talk, hey, feel free, drop them down in the comments. Like you said, and
Give us them
we're also
likes.
gonna leave. Yep, make sure that you subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, and I'm gonna leave our social medias in the description if you like to go and follow us on any other social media platforms. And yeah, if you have any takes, any questions, anything, leave them in the comments. We're
Once
definitely gonna
again,
get
I'm
out back to
Champ.
you. And I'm Xavier, and together, this is Beyond the Whistle, baby. See you guys next time. We enjoyed it.